right, so now that we're inside of Show It and our new template is loaded in, we're ready to start customizing and making this website our own. So the first thing you're going to do is take a look around your Show It dashboard, and up at the very top left, you're going to see a button or a link that says Site Settings. Let's go ahead and click into that. So this is just the basics. This is going to be like your domain, the title of your website, if you're going to have a blog, and if you're going to integrate like Google Analytics or a Facebook pixel or anything like that. So let's get started with the site info tab. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and delete the template name and just go ahead and add your title in. So it can be like your business name. If your business is your name, you might want to just put your name. You can also put like a description if you want to, or a tagline. You're just going to want to identify and give it a name so you will know which template you're working with. For the custom domain, once you subscribe to Show It, you'll be able to click this little edit button and you can choose whatever domain you want this website to be attached to. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this just yet because we're just getting started and you don't want to launch and connect it to your domain until the website's ready to go. So for now, I'm just going to say no domain assigned. If I were ready to launch, I would come in here and select my domain. Okay, and then also the favicon. This is where you can choose an image, which is the little image that displays in the top left-hand corner of your browser tab. It's like a little miniature icon. I typically recommend doing something very basic because it will get scaled down to about 16 pixels, which is extremely tiny. So what I would recommend is doing something in either one or maybe two colors at most. And something like really blocky or chunky works good. Like if your website is your name, like for instance, if it was Vivian, like a good favicon for this design would be just the capital V in hot pink. Just because it'll be bold, it'll be simple, and it will be very recognizable once it's scaled down. And there are some different generators that you can use to create these favicons, and I will leave a link to one of those below this video. And basically all you're going to do is go to that website and upload like your logo, or like I said, just an initial or some sort of graphic that can be converted into one of these favicons. So you'll create the favicon, you'll download it onto your computer, and then you'll click this choose image link, which will take you to browse your computer, pick the file, and then it'll show up here. You don't really need to worry about this vanity URL slug. This is basically just when you're testing the website and customizing it before launching. This is the website address you're going to be viewing it on. Now, I could change it and put, something like Vivian Jones, whatever it is. And you can see how that'll change, like the preview URL and the vanity publish URL. But you really don't need to worry about any of this right now because it already functions as it is with whatever sample name they give it. So you can just, click out of that. Like I said, this is all those same things. Share, you don't have to worry about because this is when you would actually populate a share key. So like if you were a designer and you were designing templates and you were going to sell the templates, that's when you would hit this share button and generate a key. But since you're just customizing this template for your own personal website, you don't need to worry about the share button. Okay, and then we'll move over to the blog. Again, once you have if you set up a blog, Show It will do that for you, and then you'll see the options for that here. But right now, this website is currently not linked to a WordPress blog, so that's why there's just a none here. And then under the third party tab, this is where you can enter in a Facebook app ID or a Google Analytics ID. I do strongly recommend setting up Google Analytics and having this set up before you even launch your website. That way you can track all of your visitors, your traffic, where they're coming from, how long they're staying on your website, what is your bounce rate, those sort of things. We won't really get into Google Analytics right now. There will be a discussion further along when we talk about some of the WordPress plugins that I recommend. But for now, just know that you'll definitely want to set up a Google Analytics account, and this is where you will enter in your ID. So the same thing goes for the Facebook app ID. If you want to start running ads or integrating anything from Facebook to your website or vice versa, this is where you will enter in that app ID. So for right now, I'm not going to enter anything in because this is just a test website. But if you'd like more information, I'm going to drop some links below the video so that you can take a look. All right, and I think that's about it as far as the site settings. Once we get closer to launch, we may dive back in and take another look at this just to make sure everything's ready to go before launch. But for now, this is all it really entails. So, all right, now for the fun part, let's move into the design settings.